Hello and welcome to the Eternal Cold Hunt preview. I'm Patrick Sullivan, joined by Andrew Baeckstrom. We are at the Dire Wolf Digital Studios recording this, and we have a lot of Cold Hunt to show off. Additionally, we have some changes to the client, to the economy that we're really excited to talk about as well. So we have a lot to go over.
Yep, it's going to be a real fun day getting to delve into the world of our next major set, Cold Hunt. It's coming quite a bit sooner than maybe you might have expected, and let's get a look at it up screen right now. As you can see, Cold Hunt, the next set for Eternal, is coming out November 10th. It's another full 200-plus card set, bringing along a lot more goodness. We're going to be delving deeper into the world of Coastal, and we see our iconic Justice Scion Svetya on screen right now. She's quite nifty. And yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun as we get to sort of start showing off all of the hard work that we've been doing these last couple months with you joining back and on the team again.
Yeah, so I came back to Direwolf in early July, so this is the first set that I've really worked on from start to finish. It's also been really fun for me because, when I was here previously, my roles and responsibilities were a lot more compartmentalized. So in terms of getting to work on some of the creative stuff, some of the art stuff, this is the first time I've really had sort of a cohesive fingerprint on the set. So showing this off is very exciting for me personally, and hopefully you enjoy what we got to show today.
Yep, and this is a really great time. If you're like Patrick and you're coming back to Eternal, or maybe you never played before, let's start diving into the world of Cold Hunt and checking out some of what we'll be seeing in the set, because in the game Eternal, we've got a real fun mix of characters, everything from furry yetis to ferocious dinosaurs, fierce gunslingers, and mages, and all of the great things that you would expect from a fantasy game. And there's just going to be a lot of fun clashes along the way.
Yeah, I think a cool point of emphasis of Cold Hunt is sort of a focus on a lot of our most significant storyline characters. I would like to think that all of our sets kind of tap into that to varying degrees, but I think there was sort of an underlying ideology of, like, let's get back to the nuts and bolts. Let's show off our cool characters and these story beats and progress the storyline. And so I think that if you're new to Eternal, it's a great place to get introduced to the world and a lot of our most iconic characters. And if you're an experienced or veteran Eternal player, then a lot of this is going to be familiar yet new to you.
And speaking of that, so Svetya, our Justice Scion, sort of the leader of that faction, she's getting a new card in Cold Hunt, and let's check out our first card from Cold Hunt. Let's get Svetya Dauntless up there and see what she's got to offer.
So we have sort of a formula for our Scions. If you've been around for a while, this template might look a little bit familiar to you. What we're wanting to go for here is as we always do, just an awesome, powerful, inspiring unit to build around, and hopefully the deck building puzzle here is pretty layered and nuanced, which is another thing that we like to do with our Scions.
And one of the big things that that experienced players might notice is that we've got a little update here to the card frame for our heroes in the game. Heroes have always been a characteristic of some of the units in the game, and now we're going to see that actually represented with the release of Cold Hunt with these new hero frames, signifying this character is somebody that you should be keeping an eye on. And it'll be a lot of fun to see how that fits into the world of Cold Hunt and into the gameplay of the set as we get deeper into that. So with any new set, of course, that means we've got a new draft format. Draft is our best way for anybody to start playing the game in terms of acquiring cards. It's a limited format. That means that when you play draft, you are getting to select cards for your deck each time, and so you don't need any collection at all to get started playing. Right now on screen, we've got a little preview sort of what the draft experience is like, where you're selecting cards from packs and sort of building your deck along the way and then playing those out in a series of games.
Yeah, I think that draft is really good for both new and experienced players. If you're relatively new, this is true of really any trading card game that you're going to play. It takes a little while to get your collection rolling. And so playing a format where you're on even footing, it's not about how long you've been playing or if you've necessarily spent money, but just your ability to navigate draft. you are on an even playing field with people who have been around for a very long time. Additionally, this is just a great way to start accumulating cards for your collections. You keep the cards that you draft, and additionally, you get rewards depending on how well that you finish. So, in terms of being able to play initially on an even playing field and build up a collection, it's excellent. And if you're an experienced player, draft is a really novel experience as well. It tests different skills. And, the constructed experience can, often be over time, you see the same 50 or so cards over and over again. It's kind of hard to escape that. And so draft gives you an experience of having to play with and against a wider array of cards. It tests different skills in my mind. So no matter what your experience level or ability level is, I think draft is excellent. It's really fun. It's my preferred way to play. But in particular, if you're a new player or if you're returning to the game, it's a really good time to hop on board, get that collection rolling, and play on an even playing field.
And with the release of Cold Hunt, something that we've been working on is taking a look at the draft rewards. What do we give players when they successfully complete a draft and they get some wins? You play out your draft deck to 7 wins or 3 losses, and that was a thing we spent some time on. And so let's take a look, Patrick, at the new draft rewards table that players will experience with the release of Cold Hunt. So we've got the new draft rewards table here. Draft will still be 5,000 gold, but I think the first thing that will jump out to players who are familiar with our draft rewards currently is that players are going to be getting a lot more gold back with each of the wins that they're playing in draft right now. And that really is capped off by the fact that now at 5 wins, Patrick, you're getting enough gold back in order to draft again an additional time. And then along with all of these great amount of gold that is more generous than the current draft rewards, we're also giving out players exciting card rewards, starting off with premium uncommons, those leveling up to multiple rares, and then finally the capstone. If you do manage to hit that pinnacle of 7 wins in draft, guaranteed legendary along with a rare for your card rewards.
Yeah. I think this is a positive update we've been sort of working on here for a while. We have found that players who enjoy drafting really enjoy drafting. They like to do it over and over again. So we've toggled the rewards a little bit to give you more of your rewards in gold to hopefully make it easier for players who really enjoy draft to keep doing it. But we don't want to completely punt on the collection accumulation experience. We know that people draft for a variety of reasons. Some people really enjoy draft, and some people, like we talked about before, use it as sort of a stepping stone to build up their collection and pivot into constructed. So you still keep the cards that you receive in the draft. You are still receiving some high rarity cards if you accumulate enough wins. But with more of the rewards in gold, we're hopeful that the players who really enjoy the draft experience find it easier to keep going and going.
So this is going to be just a fantastic update for both players currently, but then also new players coming in. You're getting to keep all the cards you draft. You're getting exclusive high rare rewards like rares and potentially legendaries when you draft, and you're getting the gold back to keep drafting. So if you don't have a collection yet in Eternal, draft's going to be a fantastic place to go. And one of the exciting things with our draft format is that it's also a format that we do competitive events in. Our next competitive event is a draft open, and that's going to be coming up later on in the month of November. It's a 3-day event, Friday through Sunday, where you can do 4 drafts. If you have a good enough record and you have the top 64 record, you come back on Sunday to compete in a single elimination bracket. We'll be streaming and bringing coverage of that with the winner advancing to the World Championships. And best of all, as an open event, open entry for all players.
Something that I've had the experience with in other digital trading card games is, I'm a competitive player at root. I want to be playing in tournaments. I want to be playing for the highest stakes against the best players. And there's a lot of digital card games out there where it's like, well, you had to be playing for months and months and months and months and months to be able to touch the highest level.
Qualify for this thing so you can qualify for that thing.
Oh, if you're a streamer and you get X viewers, then you get to qualify for the streamer event. None of that here. You can draft right now on an even playing field and practice if you are totally new to the game with hopefully an economy update that makes it easier to keep doing that and doing that and doing that. And then in a few weeks, there's going to be an open event where you just got to pay the gold to enter. And if you do well enough Friday or Saturday, you qualify for a single elimination tournament on Sunday that involves cash prizes, in-client rewards, and a slot to the World Championships. So you can go from not playing Eternal as you're watching this to being able to practice the format in question, play in an open in a few weeks, and qualify for the World Championships. And if that sounds like a ridiculous path, like I'm just making something up, a month ago I just did an interview with someone who qualified for our World Championships, who they qualified through Constructed, through a community event, but they had been playing Eternal for 2 months and qualified for our World Championships, which has a lot of prizes involved. So this is I'm not blowing smoke.
No.
This is a real path that's available to you right now. Now you don't have to do it if you just are a more casual player. You're not comfortable doing that. There's no mandate. The game's extremely fun regardless. But if you've got that competitive itch, but those organized play channels feel a little opaque to you, don't worry about that here. There's an open in the client. It's easy to find, and you can practice the format in question as soon as Cold Hunt is up.
And all of our opens have fantastic alternate art rewards just for entry. So it's really, these events are for all players, not just potentially those who are maybe the most experienced or looking for the most competitive times. It's just a really good, fun event to celebrate draft. And it'll be awesome to see the new Cold Hunt draft format in action. Let's talk about Constructed, though, with Cold Hunt. So in Eternal, we have 2 major constructed formats. Our Throne format is sort of the anything goes format. That's where you could play with any of the cards from the game's history. But let's talk about Expedition, and that's the format that is focused on the more recent cards, the more recent sets. And so let's take a look at what Set 12 Expedition is going to look like, aka Cold Hunt Expedition. And as you can see, Patrick, we've got Cold Hunt, Revelations, Hour of Glass. Those are our 2 most recent major sets, along with our most recent campaign. And joining that is also the Eternal Draft Pack, which is a curated list of a small portion of the older card pool that helps flesh out the Expedition experience. And if you are just getting a lot of the newer cards, you're going to be able to start building up a real deck in Expedition very quickly.
And keep in mind that the Draft Pack is actually part of the draft experience. So all the cards that you receive in draft contribute to your Expedition collection. It's a 1-to-1 relationship on all those cards.
Yep, so it's a great place to start if you want to start with Constructed, is start with Expedition. But, you know, we are always looking to improve the experience for our players and make it even easier to get into the game. We pride ourselves on being as generous as anyone out there. And so let's talk about a new feature coming to Expedition with Cold Hunt, the Expedition Vault. And the Expedition Vault is a collection of a little over 150 unique cards that you are going to get not for completing some quest or reward, just by joining the game, playing the game, logging in after Cold Hunt's release. You are going to get all of these cards unlocked. These cards will be legal in Expedition for the next year, and they're going to give you a great foundation to start with of cards to build new decks.
That's something that we've been doing a lot of investigation on, is the experience of you log on for the first time, or you've returned to the game after being away for a couple of years. How long does it take before it feels like, okay, I'm running downhill, I can kind of build the decks that I want to build? And we are hoping that this bundle of cards, for free, again, to emphasize, you just got to log on.
Yep.
There's no signing up for an email list, none of that. It's just going to be on your account. Will help give players, if you want to hop in and just start playing Expedition day one, hopefully that's a base of cards where you can start building some coherent decks. And if you are drafting a lot and building up your collection that way, before you know it, between the cards you're receiving in draft and the cards you're receiving as prizes, along with this bundle of cards, it will not take long for you to be able to build whatever deck that you want.
Yep, and so we'll have full details on the list of cards for that in the coming weeks before the release of Cold Hunt on November 10th, but it's going to be really exciting for players. It's just going to be so much easier now to get started with Expedition and know that you just have all of these free cards to work with that will be legal in Expedition for the next year that we're just giving to all the players in the game. One new card, let's take a look at a card that'll be featured in Cold Hunt Expedition. We've seen one hero so far. Let's take a look at another in the Rat King. And yeah, not all heroes look shiny and clean, Patrick.
No, it's a robust world. There's a lot of ways that someone can be a hero. You can travel through time. You can build or lay waste to a city. Or you can just be really skilled at hanging out with rats. And this is an example of that last camp.
And there's, we've got a couple of new mechanics coming to the world of Eternal in Cold Hunt. We're going to be unveiling those next week on our website at direwolfdigital.com. So make sure you stay tuned into our social media channels and the website for those reveals. And let's take a look before we start talking about pre-orders at one more card that you will be able to get in Cold Hunt. We got a new fire damage spell, Patrick. It's good to have you here when we're going to do that. Let's take a look at Bullseye.
Well, it's not a detonate. It's not exactly my language, but a really efficient, flexible, versatile removal spells. Got a bunch of play in a bunch of different spots.
Yeah. So this new one, Bullseye, will be really great for players. Be able to take out some relics, take out units, maybe pick off a Garden of Omens or two sites. So a really flexible, great new removal spell for players coming with Cold Hunt. Now let's talk about pre-order time and all the cool things that you'll be able to get if you pre-order. So first of all, we love to give players we love doing alternate art treatments of our cards, giving more promotional aspects to them, making them look a little shinier and fancier. And so let's take a look at Wump Party Starter. This was our original weekly promo, and Wump is back, but looking a little meaner and leaner this time around.
Yeah, I mean, been in the gym, getting those reps in. This to me is sort of it's a cool one to do. As you mentioned, it was our first promo card, and with Cold Hunt trying to tap into some of those nostalgia, those old classics, giving this Wump away as part of the bundle here, I think is really great.
One of the other things players will be able to get is new sigils. So sigils are our most basic form of power. You play with them in lots of decks, and so it's nice if you have a little bit flashier than the opponents. And so let's take a look at the new alternate art sigils coming to the game with Cold Hunt. And you see they've got this lovely Laurel treatment in line with our heroes. And so if you're going to be playing with some dope heroes like Wump Party Starter in Cold Hunt, you're going to want to maybe pick up these sigils too.
And keep in mind, these are unlimited. You just basically unlock them. So it's not like you're capped at 25 or 30. If you have a bunch of different shadow decks, you can play as many copies of these sigils in all of your decks.
We've also got a new playmat coming to the game. Let's take a look at the Waystone Caves playmat. One of the nice things that you might notice about this is there's also a beautiful Svetya premium avatar, a lovely new card back, all on this beautiful cave. I love the light pouring in from the ceiling. It's a really wonderful treatment. So we got a lot of great stuff coming. So how can you get it? Let's talk about the Cold Hunt Ultimate Pre-Order Bundle. So this is $79.99, and you will be able to start pre-ordering this on Monday. And it just comes filled with goodness. We're talking everything from the card back, the premium avatar, the Waystone Caves playmat, the new premium sigils, 4 copies of the new Wump promo card. You're getting a box, you're getting gems, you're getting draft tickets, so you'll be able to draft a bunch of times for free when you pick this up. There's just an absurd amount of things that you're getting in just this one bundle.
Premium boosters as well.
Let's talk about those.
Yeah. I mean, we're talking a booster on top of getting the box, which is 32 packs. That's phenomenal in terms of just being able to build decks day number 1. We give boosters as well that are nothing but premium cards.
Yeah, so we're going to get some lovely premium treatments on 5 full packs worth. It's a fantastic deal, and so you'll be able to check out that pre-order bundle as well as our other pre-order bundle on the website. If you go to direwolfdigital.com/Cold Hunt, that's going to be the place to check in for all the news and action relating to Cold Hunt. But there's just a lot of fantastic stuff. So we're updating draft rewards. We're adding a bunch of free cards with the Expedition Vault. We've got new hero frames for our most iconic characters. And we haven't even gotten into all of the mechanics that are coming to the game with Cold Hunt that we'll be delving into next week with our full preview slate going on. This is just a really fantastic time to get started or to come back if you've been away from a while from Eternal.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. I think that, it's very uncommon to be able to make an announcement that's good for established players and good for new/lapsed players. But kind of by definition, most of the time it's going to be one thing or the other. But I think the combination of we have a new set, we have new mechanics to show off in the near future, and more cards to show off in the near future, and we've made updates to Draft and Expedition to make those formats more accessible. I think that if you're an experienced player. You've been around for a long time. Hopefully this is a lot of exciting stuff for you personally. And also hopefully this is a great time to go tell your friends, hey, this is, if you haven't played before, now is a great time. Did you play 2 years ago and maybe fell out for X, Y, and Z reasons? Well, here's all the stuff that's coming that's going to make it easier for you to hop back on and start playing the game again. And on top of all that, we have an open tournament coming in November where all of this isn't just playing a game for the sake of playing it. That's fun and all. But it's also, if you want it to be, testing for a tournament with cash prizes and a qualification for the World Championships. So we're really excited to show off all of the stuff all at once here. We got more stuff to come in the coming days and weeks, so make sure to stay tuned to our various social media channels to check out those previews and additional information. And as hopefully you are as excited about all this information as we are.
A lot of great stuff coming with Cold Hunt. It's coming November 10th. You'll want to start pre-ordering on Monday. For now, we're going to get back to work because we got a lot more exciting stuff coming down the pipeline for Eternal, and it's really all kicking off on November 10th. So we'll be happy to see you there.